We look forward to seeing you guys down at Equip Expo 2023, October 17th through the 20th. Guys, don't forget to use promo code Brian to register and save your guys' self 50%. Get those tickets ASAP. And by the way, we do earn a little bit of a kickback, and that goes right into supporting the show, supporting the podcast, and the YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much in advance if you happen to use our code. And don't forget to register you and each individual that you got to bring for your team. You got to register each person separately.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to talk today about all things snow plowing and how we price our work. Long story short, been getting a lot of requests this time of year about snow plow pricing, sidewalk shoveling pricing, ice melt pricing, bulk salt pricing. How do we do it? A lot of you guys have been picking up our commercial snow plow contracts and residential plow contracts at launchpreneuracademy.com. Super appreciate that. Super appreciate the support. Obviously, they're $99 for each template. You can get the bulk combo, the bundle, whatever it's called, for I think $179, something like that. Promo code podcast saves you a few bucks there. If you guys need snowplow contracts, check them out. Not a pitch here, but just say, hey, if you want to use what we're using, or you guys need some, or you're in a pinch or a crunch, or just getting in the industry, or maybe you already have some and you want to see what ours look like and compare notes and maybe combine both together to make it your own. Hey, fantastic. But what I wanted to do is put some pen and paper and just give away what we're doing, literally, to price out our snow work. Every single site that we have runs through this four-step process, this four-step formula. We do have some more resources coming down the pike. I'm not sure if they're going to be available this winter. Generally speaking, if I do get them out, I will let you guys know. Long story short, we have a calculator that we've been running for about a year. It's been working fantastic. It's been working great for us. I've actually seeded it to a couple of you guys that had some questions on coaching calls, talking about snow and salt, and been getting a bunch of great feedback. And that feedback, I still want to take and make some changes with the calculator for. So I don't know if it'll be available just now, but more likely we'll wait and possibly even have that available for you guys next year. But in the meantime, let me talk. Broadly speaking, we're going to go through some notes. We're going to talk numbers today. Hopefully I don't make your head hurt by the time we're done with this quick conversation, but this is exactly what I'm using to bid snow, bid salt, get our contract price, get our per push price, get our seasonal price. It's extremely simple with what we're doing. Now, this is what we're doing. Again, long story short, man, there's dozens of podcasts out there. I think we're the only one that talks snow. Maybe somebody else talks snow, but I do not know of another podcast out there that talks snow. So if anybody wants to compare notes and put out some snow podcasts, please be my guest. We'd love to have more of that out in the field, out in the industry. Literally, I don't know if anybody at all either does snow, let alone offer snow or plow snow. And I'm sure many people could. They just choose not to, or they're not interested, or there's not enough money, or they live too far south. All the above all makes sense to me. Frankly, if I lived down south, man, I would not be interested in doing snow either. It's a lot of money for potentially no gain, potentially a lot of gain. So it just really depends on how you approach it. And again, that stems from good agreements, good contracts that we're going to be talking about today. Okay. So I have a 4-step formula that we're going to go through. It is extremely simple, folks. And then I also have a bunch of notes wrote down on the back of my cheat sheet here. And just some stuff that I jotted down the last 5 minutes before I hit record. A couple of those notes, if you guys want to hang with us for the remainder of the show after we go through the formula part, just so you know what we're going to be talking about. It's minimums, buy more coverage up to 45 inches, consider a per push premium, residential prepay, charging a per push emergency premium, and then I'd rather not have you guys plow than to not make money. So 6 or 7 little side rants there. Might be another 5 or 10 minutes to tack onto the backside of this podcast and show. First off, before we jump into the whole kit and caboodle, let's just zoom out really quick. Let's just slow down the speed up. I just want to say at the top of the mountain here, screaming, hey, get your ticket for Launchpreneur Academy Live. I will tell you guys this. I've been seeing a lot of folks purchasing snow contracts, lawn care contracts, and then also your Launchpreneur Academy Live 2023 ticket. For those of you guys that have not heard, we have a live conference in Novi, Michigan. This is a big deal, and I'm talking to you. you, my friend that's listening into the podcast, I'm inviting you to come on up to Novi, Michigan. Not the other guy that's hearing the announcement here and just goes, oh man, I'll never get to that, or never one day, or not interested, or whatever, or I'll never make it, or I don't go to those things, or I'm too far. Dude, squash all that nonsense. I'm literally talking to you. I'm talking to you right now. Listen, I invite you to please listen to me. Go to launchpreneuracademy.com, watch the promo reel, watch the sizzle reel, whatever they call that thing, or go to my Instagram. I pinned it to the top of my Instagram, and check out that video. And let me know what you think about other folks checking out that event in that video. If it doesn't look like they're not having fun, getting encouraged, getting motivated, getting educated to grow and to have a successful next coming year. Okay, so the sizzle reel was a compilation of 2020, 2021, 2022. Had a great videographer there named Quentin helping us out. We built that sizzle reel for you, to encourage you, to motivate you, to inspire you, to grab your attention and say, dude, this thing is for you. And I will be talking about it at the top of my lungs for the next couple of weeks, because the early bird ticket registration is going to end October 2nd, and the ticket price goes up $50. Now, you can still buy your ticket after that, just like we just had a Quip Expo that went off on whatever it was, September 7th or 10th or whatever it was. You can still buy your ticket to a Quip Expo with promo code Brian, and it still saves you 50%. I think registration is a big deal, $25. Who cares? If you're going to go, you can still register and still go. So if you guys are using promo code Brian, appreciate that. A lot of you guys registered last minute, like another 100 folks registered with our code the last week. That's actually 48 hours to get to a Quip Expo. Super appreciate the support. We do get a small kickback on that. I think it's about $12 total, so I can go buy a smoothie from Tropical Smoothie. But in all seriousness, I want to say thank you for you guys that use the codes, come to things, support. It's the best way to reciprocate with all the free stuff that we put out there at length for you guys. And again, we always add value first and then ask for your support later. It's not inverse, okay? But what I will tell you is, please consider coming to launchpreneuracademy.com. It's not a beg or a plead, because we're not selling tickets. And frankly, ticket sales are going through the roof. We sold like another 10 tickets over the weekend, and we're trending 20, I think it was 25 or 26% higher than year over year last year for the event. Last year, we had 325 people there. Okay, so I'm not a really good math wizard here, but it's 25% more of 300. What is that, 350, 330? 10% 330, so 360, 375, okay? I don't know what the final number is, but what I will tell you is, I'm telling you, if you guys are listening and right now, real time, please get your ticket today. Like, hit pause, launchpreneuracademy.com/store, and get your ticket, because I don't want to have to see you guys spend another $50 more than you need to necessarily to come to the conference. And maybe you're like, hey, I'm going, Brian. Yes, dude, I can't wait. I've been there once. I've been there once or twice. I've been there every year in a row, by the way. For all of you guys that are going to be fifth-year attendees, we got some great swag for our 5-year attendees. We've been doing this event for 5 years. I think I can finally drop another big cat out of the bag, a last-minute ad. Extremely excited about this. Mark Bradley, the founder of LMN Software, and also the guy that ran a $50 million landscape company. Last minute ad. We were emailing each other back and forth on Thursday, Friday last week. We locked him in, folks. He's coming. Mark Bradley is coming to frickin' Launchpreneur Academy Live again. Dude ran a $50 million business. Oh, that's in Canada. So really it's only $38 million. I get people that say stuff like that. Wow, how big is, 50 million Canadian. I'm like, bro, whatever the ratio is, the homie was still running a 42, 45, $46 million company. What are you talking about? I think we figured it out. Like, he was doing $500,000 a week at that level. Frankly, he had my favorite, that last year was my favorite, was Troy Clark talking about the dream and the why. And then Mark Bradley talking about empowering your people and how to build an organization, not just a team, not just a mob or a clan of guys, but how to build a real structured organization and what that looks like. And I can't be more sincere with you guys to say, if you do not spend 200 or 300 or 500, whatever the total financial investment is to come to LAL and to hear Mark Bradley alone, I just don't know what else to tell you. Like, this guy is one of the best. And we've got him locked in outside of Leroy Maines, outside of Keith Kalfas, outside of Kalen Whitney Allman, outside of a speaker panel with an up-and-coming panel with all of you guys. We're going to get 7 to 10 of you guys up there. And there's so many other great ads. My brain's already fried. It's been a long couple of days here. But for the love of God, we've got Mark Bradley locked in. And if I don't see 10, 20, 30, 50 more ticket sales just alone this week that I just don't know what else to tell you guys. And I'm giving you guys a hard time, but I will just tell you honestly, I just don't know where else you're going to see him speak other than maybe an internal LMN type webinar. To get Mark Bradley to speak, I actually just really quick, and I do want to fanboy over this for just a quick minute, but I asked him last year to speak. And I said, hey, Mark, I don't have a huge budget. I said, pay a couple grand or something like that to come on in, to come and share, be honored to. And frankly, it's like a slap in the face to even offer people like that, or Corey Ballard or a Troy Clark money, because they don't need it. They've been successful. They don't need it. They just give back. A lot of these guys are, 40, 50, 60 plus years old. They don't need to make any more money. They've made their money. I'm still in the making money phase. You can pay me to come speak at your conference tomorrow for probably a lot less money than you think. Just having some fun there. But long story short, I said, Mark, pay a couple $1,000, maybe $3,500 to come speak, part of the speaking budget. And he said, Brian, he goes, all of my speaking I do for free. He goes, for something like what you're doing, I volunteer my time, and because he's Canadian, folks. And he said, I volunteer my time. I'd love to serve and just give back to your audience. And dude, he could literally charge anybody $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in a Quip Expo. He could run a conference there, or a training day, or a breakout session, whatever they call it, and have them spend $15,000 on him, and it would be worth it. And charge everybody $100 to come hear what he has to say. Okay, that's one speaker alone, folks. Okay, so I don't want to gloss over this. Ticket sales are super healthy. I couldn't be more humbled. I couldn't be more thankful. I couldn't be more grateful to get a guy like Mark Bradley in. Last minute ad. LMN's going to be teaming up with us at the show, helping to support the Friday night mixer at the Hub Stadium in Novi, which is like bowling, axe throwing, and ice curling, like literally ice curling, like in the Olympics, which is pretty dope. It's going to be from 5 to 7, by the way. If I haven't mentioned this, you get 1 hour for one event and then 1 hour at the next event. So you get to get 2 of the 3 events. Well, how come we're not doing 3 out of the 3 events, Brian? How come we're not renting it out from 5 o'clock to 8 p.m.? Well, because it's about $13,000 to rent this freaking place out for 2 hours. I'm candid. I'm transparent with my numbers. Anybody else wants to throw $5,000 at it, we'll rent it out for another hour. Folks, I'm telling you, like, this stuff costs a lot of money, more money than you ever think. So people like, oh, sponsors, kind of muck things up. I'm like, I'm so grateful for sponsors, because without them, hello, we'd be tailgating at the back of Josh Sutton's camper, okay? Which isn't always a bad idea either, because we're going to be doing that at a Quip Expo, okay? But I'm just telling you guys, I'm super excited about having Mark Bradley there. Super successful individual. He's one of, I think we have 8 speakers this year, okay? It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So it's just been on my heart. It's been on my mind. I want to see you guys there. I want to see as many of you guys there, obviously. We want to help you guys grow. We want to help you guys win. A lot of you guys have had a really great season this year. A lot of rain, a lot of growth, a lot of, new employees, a lot of revenue turning. So you guys have some, money, quote unquote, to your name. Last year was a little bit of a drought season. It was tough. It was crazy. Winter wasn't any better. I'm cognizant of that, folks. We didn't jack up the price $200-$300. Okay. It's $197 for a ticket right now. Get it at launchpreneuracademy.com. Maybe if you're there scoping out the snow contracts and all that fun stuff. All right. That being said, let's do this. We're going to be talking about snow. I don't want to drag this, on for any longer than it needs to be. I'm going to give you guys meat and potatoes. Okay. We're going to hear from today's show sponsor. We're going to come on back and hear from how to put this all together. Do me a favor. Listen to it with the podcast while you guys are mowing, while you guys are trimming, while you're landscaping. And then if you have to, come back to, whatever the timestamp is, around 15 minutes here. Come back to the timestamp of about 15 minutes later tonight and write this down. Okay. Write this down, what I tell you. Or number 2, go onto my Instagram, and I'm going to save this photo on our Instagram stories for the next day and a half, the 24-hour cycle, on stories. Instagram stories are like the real time, what you post on your feed of what's going on. Okay. And the reason I want to do this is nobody told me anything like this. Okay. Nobody gave me any information. I had to hunt all this down. I got an email just this morning. It said, hey man, thinking about starting a lawn care business. Where should I start? And I said, well, 0 to 100K. It's a great book. And then after that, our podcast, after that, at YouTube. All right, cool. What mower do you think I should start with? Or what truck do you think is great? And I just answered that question. And I get 100 of these a day, a week, a month. And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, I just gave you the answer. You got to listen. You got to self-start. You got to learn a little bit here. You got to put some of it together. You got to chase it down. I'm literally giving you 99% of what you need right now. And with every podcast we do, but you do have to do the work to make it your own, understand your own numbers, figure out your own rates, and make it make sense in your own business. Okay, so just because I give you a bunch of numbers here about what to charge and the latest and greatest and what a lawn and landscape snow professional can do in 2023 and beyond, it doesn't automatically mean it's a silver bullet and you're going to make 10 grand, 100 grand, $1 million in snow plowing. Okay, it does not work like that. You still have to take this info and make it your own. But for the love of God, thank God there's people out there giving away so much great stuff for free. And I just hope you guys appreciate the stuff that we're able to share with you here in a quick minute, okay? So any which way, let's go through some numbers here in just a quick second. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors and announcements. Super grateful for all the support of the show. Super appreciate you guys listening in. Super appreciate all the ratings, the reviews, the growth. The podcast downloads are through the roof. And again, you guys are reciprocating like crazy, which again, I just couldn't be more thankful and more grateful for, okay? So let's do this really quick, and then we'll wrap this podcast up in a, as Paul Jamison likes to make fun of me, a short and sweet fashion, and then we'll get this thing down the road and get us some snow contracts out the door so we can start locking them in before winter and start plowing that snow and making that dough. All right, let's hang tight, guys. We'll come right on back.
This is your invitation to Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2023 in Novi, Michigan, Saturday, November 11th. The lineup is power-packed. You won't want to miss it. Learn from incredible speakers like Leroy Maines, Keith Kalfas, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Sam Gimble, Weston Zimmerman, and Jeff Joyner, just to name a few. Tickets are on sale now at the early bird registration price of $197. And hurry, because seating is limited to just 300. Once you purchase your ticket, you'll be added to our private Facebook group where you can network with other attendees, get access to the discounted hotel room block, and get the inside scoop for the Friday night party brought to you by Kohler. Thank you to this year's sponsors, Xmark, Sure Track Trailers, Yard Book, and Boss Snowplow for helping to bring this incredible event to life. We can't wait to see you November 11th, Novi, Michigan at Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2023. Get your ticket today at LawntrepreneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description. Lawntrepreneur Academy Live.
All right, guys, let's jump right back into it here. Here's the 4 quadrants, and here's the approach that we're going to take with snowplowing, how to get your pricing, okay? So I'm going to be working off our snowplow contract. Again, LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com/store. Scroll all the way down to snow resources. You can get snow postcards, snow door hangers, and of course your snow contracts, your how to plow snow program, your salt ice management log, all that fun stuff. Okay, it's all there for you. Just to start, it's turnkey. It's absolutely amazing. When we look at our snow contract, especially the commercial one, you're going to see per push pricing, bulk salt pricing. You're going to see sidewalk shoveling and ice melt pricing. Okay, it's very, very simple. And in our contract, just to zoom out, a lot of people ask about this. Hey, do people do per push, or do people do seasonal pricing or flat rate pricing? How does it work? Well, we simplified the commercial contract where now it's the same contract. There's 2 in there, but for the most part, just use the 2023 1.0 commercial contract. And in that, you can have the client circle A or B, per push or flat rate monthly. Now, per push is exactly what it sounds like. If you go up a page, right to the first page, the main page, the only first big page, it has all of your per pricing there. And per pricing is 4 quadrants: snow plowing, snow shoveling for sidewalks, that's snow. And then for ice, it's bulk salt and ice melt. That's it. It's 4 categories. Super simple stuff, right? For a basic snow plow, snowstorm, that's what we're doing. That's the per pricing. That's the per push pricing. It's a la carte. Whatever we do is whatever we charge for. Okay, that's where the customer would circle A. And sometimes it might take a couple emails back and forth, or sometimes it might take a phone conversation for the client to understand. They've seen multiple snow proposals before. Everybody does it different. They've never had a service before. Their last service did provide all the services, but they stunk with the way they did billing. They did a flat rate up front only. They did a flat rate monthly only. They did a net 30 billing only, right? This contract, it's not a silver bullet. You have to still educate the customer. It's just one tool. It's a crutch to have a conversation with your client. So here's what we do. To get those 4 prices, this is what everybody's always asking me. I'll save you guys all a coaching call. Here's the 4 pricings, okay? This is based off of what we do and how I do it, because it's our local market. I'll talk me. So if you guys get 25 inches of snow, take 25 divided by 45, you get 0.62. That means you get 60% of the numbers that I riddle off, okay? Still got to do some math. Still got to personalize it to your market. Maybe you're in Minnesota, and they got 80 inches of snow. Take what I have and times it by 1.9 or whatever that would be to go from 45 to 80 inches, okay? We had a calculator. Still going to tweak some things. We'll have that available for next year. But the numbers I'm going to give you is based off of 45 inches of snow. That's our market. That's what we get. So if you guys are in Pennsylvania and you guys get 25 inches of snow, take the numbers and kind of almost divide this number in half. Or take 25 divided by 45, you get 0.58. So all the numbers I riddle off at the end, take it times 0.58, and that would be the same thing based on your quantity of inches of snow. Very, very simple stuff here. So here's what we're going to do. We take 45 inches. That's what we get in Michigan on average over on the east side of the state, Metro Detroit market, and we divide it by 3. Why do we divide it by 3? Because that's the average number of inches of a regular snowfall. Okay, so it's our base rates, our base scrape that you can see in our commercial contract. We've got 4 tiers, 1.5 to 3, 3.1 to 6, 6.1 to 10, 10.1 and above. And for some of you guys that don't want to buy a contract for $99 and you want to go spend 10 hours making your own, well, I'll give you all the details here. You can go make your own. You don't want to spend $99, you don't have $99, you need to bootstrap this thing. Dude, I get it, okay? But here's what we do. 45 inches on an annual snowfall, right, for 4 or 5 months, divided by 3, that gives us, on average, 15 pushes, okay? 15 is a really key number in this conversation here because that's how many plows we're going to do. That's how many walks we're going to do, sidewalk shovelings. Okay. For salt, we're going to take that number and at minimum, here's an asterisk here because you can do whatever you want here. At minimum, times that number by 2. Because on average, you're going to do twice as many salt runs as you do plow runs. Now, personally, I like to times that number by 2.5. If the customer's like, ooh, you're a little pricey, salt's the part where you can fudge it a little bit. You can bring that number down to times 2 multiplier, and you can bring that salt price down 10, 15%, and that might make or break somebody signing on the dotted line. Plowing 15 times, walks 15 times, right? Bulk salt 30 times, number of bags of ice melt 30 times. Okay. Let's go into this really quickly, and I'll have the same photos shared on Instagram stories, and again, you can come back to it late night. Plowing. If it's a 15 visits in our base price for an acre, acre and a quarter, a good sized gas station, a good sized culver's, a good sized strip mall, acre, acre and a quarter, okay, with about 100 linear feet of sidewalk. Maybe the front steps, maybe the front entrance is 50, 60 feet, a couple man doors in the back, okay, about 5 to 8 minutes of sidewalk shoveling, nothing crazy. Okay, that's a base site that we're working off here. Well, Brian, what if I get 2-acre site with 200 feet? Dude, take the number and times it by 2 or 1.9 and give them a little bit of price break. Again, simple questions that I get. I'm not trying to be demeaning, but I'm just saying you got to kind of think a little bit. Like, what would you do? What would I do? What would you do if the podcast didn't exist? What would you do if coaching calls didn't exist? We got a 2-acre site, take the number times it by 2. Logically, if you got 4 lawns in a row, you could grab a little bit of a discount with a couple of those lawns. So why not do the same thing with snow? Do I think you need to do that? No, not in today's market. Everything's pretty much retail. But here we go. 15 visits, right? At $245 a base scrape. That's $3,675. That's your snow plow only price. That's your snow plow price. Okay. What if you get a client that only wants plowing only? Well, it's $245 for a push. If you want to prepay, it's $36.75. We have some sites that are churches, right? And they literally only have us plow. They do the sidewalks with shoveling. They do ice melt on their own, and they want no bulk salt unless it's on request, i.e. Wednesdays, Saturdays, or Sundays. That's fine. Not every client's a home run. That's a base hit. I'll take it. Okay? That's $36.75. Now they can either elect per push, which would just be that $245 and however many times it plows. If it snows, or how many times we plow. If it snows 4 times, well then it's, they're going to make out. It's only $900. If it snows 25 times, well then they're going to take the upper end and they're going to pay, 2 times as much as they would have, or whatever it is, right? And that's the difference between having flat rate monthly pricing, which is quote unquote guaranteed up to a certain amount of inches. For us, it's 45. Or if the customer wants to elect per push, it's up to the client. We always say it's about the same amount of money. It just, if you do per push, you could have some pretty big bills in December, January, February. If it's a mild winter or just an average winter, You can just have flat rate monthly, or even if it's an above average winter, it's whatever. And you want to do the flat rate monthly, we're going to take that total that we get to here at the end, and we're going to divide it by 5 months. Okay. It's really, really simple stuff. Okay. Let's keep going to walks. We're going to visit 15 times, $45 a base shovel. Why do we a la carte sidewalk shoveling and not just lump it into per push snow plowing? Because not every time it snows do you have the sidewalk shovel, right? So sometimes you have to sidewalk shovel, and there's more because of drifting, depending on the way the wind is. So it goes a little bit your way, goes a little bit of my way, goes a little bit of no snow, goes a little bit too much snow. On average, you're going to be sidewalk shoveling something, okay? But we don't want to, and that's why we have 4 different tiers as well for sidewalk shoveling: 1.5 to 3, 3.1 to 6, 6.1 to 10, 10.1 and above. But that's why we break it down as well, because it's a la carte. For those people that want per push, no problem. We'll per push your sidewalks, we'll per push your driveways or your parking lots, we'll per ton applied of bulk salt, and we're per bag applied of ice melt. Okay. So if we did $45, right, times 15 sidewalk visits, it's $675. Does that make sense? So the $675 plus the $36.75, that's $4,350. And that is how much money you're spending on snow services exclusively. Okay. And every client's different, because again, we have some clients where we do just plowing. We do some sites where we do plowing and shoveling. We do some sites where we do driveways in the parking lot and bulk salt only, but they don't want any sidewalks because the machine shop manager gets there at 5 a.m. and he does it, and they don't want any ice melt or any salt by the front doors because they don't want their clients, or their customers, I should say, tracking it in. Right? Like every client is different. I mean, I've got 2 dozen sites here, and maybe like 8 are like home runs, and the other ones are all peppered in different variations, right? Just like like your lawn customers. Some get mowing, some get mowing and fert, some get mowing, fert, and irrigation, some get mowing for irrigation and seed, some get mowing for irrigation, seed, and aeration, some get mowing for aeration, seed, irrigation, and spring and fall cleanup, right? Like not every client is the same. So you're like, well, man, it's snow plowing, it's this or bust. Dude, like I get that, but real life, real business, that's not how it works. Now, one thing I will say, one of my favorite lines I heard from Short Clog is when you're talking to your clients and they're like, well, we want snow plowing, we want sidewalk shoveling, we're not salting our parking lot. Hey, no problem. I need you to write a disclaimer. Well, Brian, where do I get the disclaimer? See, like these kind of questions I get, but if you didn't have anybody else to look to and you had to look to yourself, what would you tell yourself? In fact, let me ask you this, because there's a better way. You learn more by teaching. So if you had somebody else asking you the question that you just proposed asking to somebody else, right? Like you're the it guy, and somebody came to you, your best friend. He doesn't know anything either, but your best friend just asked you, how would you word something like that? What would you say, right? Then you have to start thinking how I would come up with solutions. Where would I get a disclaimer if you didn't have one to go get yourself? I don't know. Go Google something or go to ChatGPT. Brian, can I have yours? Well, I mean, it's not really like mine to give you, right? Like I could, but I'm not going to make you any better. Okay. So like all these like things that people ask, I'm all about helping and giving it away. I mean, do we give it all away? But sometimes if like it's not available, or, you know, I'm not going to individually make a disclaimer available. It's like a paragraph that just says, hey, you know, we don't salt. The risk is on you. Like, dude, just go to ChatGPT. Maybe I'm being a little bit hardball on this podcast, just a little bit. I just, sometimes I just get, frustrated. Like so much is available to so many, but yet so few want to engage their brain. But they want all the trappings of success and nice trucks and businesses and cash flow and a shop. And I'm just like, bro, those people are tired. They're exhausted. Their fingers have bled. Their backs ache. They can't pick up 50-pound pallets of something anymore, you know, bags or bricks, because their back is blown out because they got slip discs because they've been putting in the work for 10, 15 years. And then other people just come and go, hey, I want all the answers. And I'm like, and I don't want to pay for it. That's always my funny one. Like, I want all the answers. I don't want to pay for it. And it's not about me charging you or making a buck. I couldn't care less. But it's like, dude, you have to put in a certain amount of effort to figure this out. And that is the exact ethos. That is the exact conversation with snow. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not make tall grass short. Anybody can go get a mower for 10 grand and pay $200 a month. And I'm not being rude or disrespectful on that. But like, I had somebody grab my football helmet by the face mask and say, dude, you could go broke and you could go under $10, $20, $30, $50,000 in 3, 4, 5 months. I had a friend of mine, you guys would know his name if I said his name on the podcast. He burned through $75,000 of payroll because it didn't have any good snow come through in his state in 2022, 2023. Right? Like, it's not a joke. There's other companies I know in metro markets that were down $5 million. Right? Like, that already is a hard road to hoe, just snow in general, and then being down that much money. Right? Like, that's where I'm not trying to scare you out of snow. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to spoon feed it to you and make it as, completely easy, because it's not going to forge you being the type of business owner it's going to take to be able to make money in snow plowing. Is that fair? So like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm just trying to give some tough love for crying out loud, because everybody just wants the nice truck or the nice plow and like thinks they're going to make $100 grand. And I'm like, dude, it's not like that. I'm going to give you the tools to equip you to hopefully get there within a couple of years or less. But if you think it's just going to be like, download a contract and, I had somebody email me, I need $10,000 a month in guaranteed income through winter. How can I do that with snow? And I'm like, yeah, me too. And I'm not being a jerk again, but I'm just thinking like, have you even done snow yet? No. Well, I will never paint the picture that it's just get in and make $1 million out of lawn care, landscaping, or snow. I don't know where that ever was translated to or whoever told you that, but that's just not the case. And I'm just like, what's your business doing? They told me revenue. They were emailing back and forth. And I'm like, you're not even doing that in lawns. You want to do that in snow? You could. But dude, let's walk before we run. Like, why do you need to make 10 grand a month? What do you got going on in your life? I don't live on 10 grand a month. I have 2 nominal salaries for my media business and my lawn care business. Are you kidding me? It's not even but half of that I live on. Liz and I make like $70,000 a year take home with our salaries. You're out of your freaking mind. It's just insane to me. Okay. Look, it's like some of you guys are like, well, I want to be an influencer and I want to be a guru and I want to give it all away. And like, I want to get rich too. And I'm just like, be careful, because you give a little bit away and everybody wants something for free. And I'm just like, dude, start freaking paying for it, learning, going to dinners with some people, and you'll start realizing like the good stuff you get isn't the free stuff necessarily. Now, this is good stuff. I'm giving you some free stuff because this is just good stuff. I don't know another way to say it. So, all right, let's keep going. First off, 45 inches of seasonal snow. Dude, I love you guys. Dude, this is real life, okay? Lawns lessons life. This is real life. You listen to my podcast. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, okay? And well, he's a jerk. He's not a jerk. He's just talking to you tough because somebody's got to get in your face because you keep thinking it's easy. And everybody out there keeps failing because they think it's supposed to be easier than it is. And then when you see somebody successful, you say, oh, it was easy for them. I'm like, that dude tried 5 times harder than you could ever imagine to succeed. And that's why when I get around successful people, I'm in awe of their success at any level, below me, at me, or above me on my quote unquote pay grade. Because I'm so excited for the effort that person put in, because that guy decided to win and there's 9 other dead bodies along the way that gave up. Not because they weren't capable, not because they couldn't do it, because they chose not to. That's it. So 45 inches of snow divided by 3, 15 visits, 15 plow runs, 15 walks. 15 plows at $245 is $36.75. 15 walks at $45. Figure out your number if you don't like it. Go higher, go lower. You think $245 is a joke? Do $275, $315. Hey, whatever you can get. If your local market's like, do $175, then it's $175. Okay? First 2 numbers you added up, that's your snow plow pricing, that's your sidewalk pricing, that's your snow. Okay. For salt, 30 visits at whatever you want per ton applied. We're at $240 a ton applied. Some sites we charge more. No sites we charge less. Why do we charge more? Because you might have to travel. That might be out of the way. They might want white glove service, so they always want to get salted more often. It just depends on a variety of factors. At minimum, you're going to go do twice as many salt runs as you will plows. Okay, usually 2.5 times as many. 37.5 salt runs is what I like to average it at, but I'm noticing that most of the stuff that we're bidding against, people have no idea how to price their stuff. That's why so few people are even making any money in the industry half the dang time, because everybody keeps giving it away for free. If you know somebody that's applying salt at $125 a ton or $150 a ton, and they're buying the stuff for $80, $90, $110, smack them. Okay? Get your numbers up to $180, $200, $240 a ton applied. At a minimum, 1.5 to 2x what you're buying it for at your application rate at a minimum. Where do all these numbers come into play? Why 245? Why the 240 per ton applied? This is what I need for a single overhead recovery system through winter to pay for my trucks, my labor, my guys, my salary, and all my overhead. Okay, so the Know Your Numbers calculator that hundreds of you guys have gotten and downloaded, you guys know what you need to make per hour, right? Broadly speaking, with all of your man hours divided by an 8-month season with all your multiple equipment. Now run the same exact overhead with just snow plowing, and you're going to see those numbers triple. That's why our production rates, for the most part here, are basically tripled. Okay, that's why we're not running $80 per man hour rates. We're running at $240 an hour, $245 a base push for an acre, which is what a guy takes to do in a plow truck in an hour. Does that make sense? That's where we get these numbers from. Well, why do some people make it and some people don't? Because some people are taking time to break down numbers and do the things that nobody else wants to do. And this is the last stuff that I wanted to do. But this is the stuff that my company wasn't doing for 11 or 12 years. We made no money. I got so mad at myself. And I said, never will I work again for free, quote unquote. Now, that's different than going the extra mile, which that means doing more for service than that for what one renders, and doing it in a spirit of a positive mental attitude. That's what the habit of going the extra mile means, the master key to riches. Doing more than what one is paid for, and in a spirit of a good, positive mental attitude. Okay, that's what going the extra mile means. So I will do some stuff for free, but it's not really for free. It's giving. It's a whole nother story. Okay, 240 a ton. You can do for 260 a ton. You can do for 200 a ton. Just God, for the love of God, don't do 125 a ton applied. Okay. Now here's a quick 30 visits at 240 a ton. That's $7,200. Okay, that's your bulk salt price. Okay, and let's just wrap it up really simply. Ice melt, 30 times 30 visits, right? Times $30 a bag applied. You buy this stuff for $8 to $11. Stop putting it down for $15, $18. 20, 25. Okay. 25, 30 is probably a lot better. Okay. It is a lot better. We put it down for $28 to $30 a bag applied. Okay. 30 visits, which is one bag of ice melt for that 100 linear feet of walk. You're probably going to use about a half a bag, but let's just count about a bag, 0.75 to a bag. You will have 30 visits at $30. That's $900. Everybody with me? So $7,200 plus $900 for your ice melt is $8,100. I'm going to share this on Instagram stories. I did all this math beforehand, if you can't tell. Really simply, your bulk salt and your ice melt price, you have $8,100 for that category. You have $4,350, right, for all of your snow plowing and your sidewalk shoveling. That's $12,450 worth of service that you'd be doing for this site based on 45 inches. Okay. Now, divide that by 5, and you're at $2,490 per month based on 5 months. And that's pretty fair. That's pretty average. We have a bunch of those. Do you always get them? No way. Would it be nice to have 10, 15 of these? Absolutely. Does this happen every time? No. Do you get 1 out of every 5 that you bid on with this? Yes. The other, of those 5, one's going to shake you down to probably about half to 2/3 of this price if you let them. Or they're going to get rid of the salt or ice melt if you let them. The other 3 are just price shopping. Or they're not serious. Or they want plow only. Which by the way, Troy Clark said, we don't manage risk. We don't manage snow, we manage risk. And so if somebody wants just plow only, no ice melt, no bulk salt, man, you can take that on. I have a couple like that. I would still take that on, but I'm telling you, you got to do it at your own risk. And by the way, or put that risk back onto the customer, i.e. the liability of that risk. So go to ChatGPT, get a liability waiver of whatever you want, a paragraph, add that to your snow contract, and make sure that you put it in the email as well. And just saying, hey, we highly encourage your company, highly encourage you to get salt and ice melt, but I do know that you want to waive that or have it on a per call, per needs basis. That's fine with us. Please just know that any slip and falls or accidents or crashes or blah, 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 blah that happen on the site due to freezing or refreeze are 100% not the responsibility of XYZ company. Okay. And just have them like initial that or have a little disclaimer with an initial part. That's fine. I had a local fast food joint. They only wanted the plow. And at that time, I was like, no way, dude. I was like, there's no way I'm going to plow your fast food and be on the hook for that. And I said, you're going to have to sign something that says you're waiving bulk salt and ice melt. He said, I'm not signing that. I said, you're out of your freaking mind if you think I'm stupid to have you sign up as a customer and think that I'm not going to include that in one of my agreements or my contract. And he wasn't being a tough guy or a jerk, and neither was I, but I'm just thinking it out loud, like comically. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Had a great restaurant. Local restaurant. Everybody that I knew, if I said it, you guys would know which one. In fact, half of my buddies have like all got the same phone call from the same dude who's price shopping. He's like, I'm like, yeah, dude, it'd be $4,000 for your walks and your plowing. He's like, okay, cool. He goes, I know that I'm out of the preseason price. What would the preseason price if we signed up next year? And this is like in October, and I'm like, bro, this is the preseason price. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, I had last guy do it for like, dude, literally half the price. I go, right, that's why you're calling me right now. I mean, because the other guy sucked and doesn't do a good job. And this is the exact same conversation that happens with lawns, happens with snow. And that goes back to one of our hot notes that we're going to put on the back of this paper here that says, I'd rather you guys stay home than to go out and not make money. And if you're not getting these rates or around there, and these aren't like exactly what Troy Clogg is doing, or this is what made Perfect cut $10 million, okay, or $50 million, whatever they're at now these days. These are what we're doing with our company. I challenge you to find any other single freaking person on the internet, literally, that would give you these numbers as transparently. And I'm not saying we're right. I'm not saying we're wrong. I'm saying this is what I'm doing. Okay. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong. I'm here to tell you, hey, here's the stuff I've messed up in the past. Here's the stuff that I'm doing that is working for us. And by the way, we've made hundreds of thousands of dollars with snow and salt. I think I'm Bedell's number one client for sub work and vice versa. We've done hundreds of thousands of dollars together. He loves my salt work. We sub it all out. Well, Brian, why are you giving 2/3 away? We may salt one day, but right now I'm building a house. I'm having kids. We're still adding trucks. The trucks I have, I don't want to mess up with salt. We have another truck on order that should be here by the end of October. You never know where we're going to go next. Okay. But there's a lot of money in salt. And the more our company grows and builds infrastructure to be able to do it, the more enticing it gets. Okay. And Bedell knows that. We're a team. And he's like, hey, you want to take it over? You can take it over anytime you want. In the meantime, if you want me to do it and you don't want to get up 30 times through winter at 3 o'clock in the morning before your site's open, I'd be more than happy to do it. And that's a good friend. And I like making my friends wealthy. Okay. That's how you get your seasonal price, by the way. You take your salt price, you take your snow plow pricing, right? Those 4 quadrants all together, add it up, divided by 5. Let me go through some notes. This is a power-packed episode. I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is good for me. This really fires me up. It really gets me, tip of the spear, keeps me sharp. You guys always bring out the best in myself, so appreciate the audience here. Appreciate you guys listening in. Let's do this really quick. Minimums. Look, if you don't have a site that's an acre and it's a quarter acre, half acre, that's fine. $145 for a minimum just to show up. None of this $50, $75, $90 stuff. Okay, it's a joke. I have one site. It's $75, and that's because it's 8 car lanes straight. It's a haircut place. Actually, a lot of you guys go to it locally, so I'm not going to give the name away. It's literally one pass with my F14. Maybe 2. But it's literally like, for real, one pass with my F14. I literally pull in. It's about 60 feet deep. 15 feet wide, split driveway with another business next to it. I literally make one lane. It's a little retail haircut place. And I shovel it all the way down, or not shovel it, plow it all the way down. There's no shoveling, no salt either, per request only. That's fine. Waiver. $75. Okay. But that's about right. You know what I'm saying? That's the new Fullerton rate. If we ain't making a milli, it ain't worth it, bruh. Losing credibility. Okay. Number 2, this is all up to 45 inches. What happens after 45 inches? Well, then it reverts back to per push pricing. So let's say you get that freak 1 in 100-year snowstorm and you get twice as much, 3 times as much snow in your area. That's fine. You tell your customers, hey, this is up to 45 inches. We got you. Like base insurance, we got you. Anything extra, it reverts back to per push price. You mean to say that I can pay more than this? Yeah. You mean to say that I'm going to do more work that could be more than outside of the scope of that we're both signing up for? Yeah. Wait, so I got to do more work than what I'm getting paid for? No, I didn't say that. Why would you do that? So for some of you guys that are like unlimited everything, no, don't do that. I did that. I almost like went bankrupt in snow my first 15 years. I made no money in snow my first same 12 years. We made no snow. Why? We did unlimited. Now we had a good baseline, but anytime it had a big winter, now thankfully it was just me and some snow blowers. I bought another belt for $20 and another scraper bar for $25. No big deal. Maybe a pulley system rebuild for $100. But make sure you guys have limits. Okay, up to 45 inches. By the way, they can always buy more coverage. Maybe the company's like, look, dude, we want to buy 75 inches of snow coverage. All right, let's take the same number, times it by 1.4, and you've got the same 1.6. We got the same coverage. Okay, no problem. So you're guaranteed up to this. By the way, after 75 inches, it still reverts back to per push. Okay, yeah, we know that. I had an account, literally, that bought 70 or 75 inches worth of coverage on a 45-inch market. I was like, I wouldn't advise that. After that, you just go back to per push. Yeah, no. We want 100%. We know we want 75 inches of coverage. I'm like, I really strongly advise that against that. Okay, whatever. No. I know what you guys get there. Their HQ was a couple states away. He's like, we get more snow here than you guys do. I know what you guys get. You guys get this much snow. I literally like Googled it. I screenshot of Google it. I sent it to him. I go, no, like the national weather says this much, bro. And he's like, no. That's always wrong. I'm like, okay. Last year we got like supposedly 40, 45 inches of snow. I don't believe it. We got like 2/3 of that. We really only went out like 6-7 times. And not only did they not get like the full 12 or 15 pushes that they flat rate monthly'd for, they paid for like 1.5 times. I'm like, almost 2 times as much. I'm like, oh, okay. That's a really healthy account. We had a lot of profit on that account. Okay. If they want to buy more coverage, here's the thing too that you guys got to remember. This is a big takeaway. If you guys remember anything from this podcast, remember this. Every single client is different. Their needs are different. Their wants are different. Their priorities are different. Are they a retail store? Are they an industrial shop? Are they down a commercial tech drive? Do they have trucks coming in and out? Are they retail focused where they got to move products, October through December? They want every lane open. Are they a Subway shop? Are they a haircut place that shuts down for 2 months? Are they a candle shop and they sell 80% of their candles that last 6 weeks of the season for the holidays? Are they a pet store that wants to make sure that it's always open 24/7? Are they an emergency pet vet? Are they emergency urgent care? And they want 24/7 white glove service. Like every client is different. Are they a hospital? Are they a hotel? Like what's the needs of that client? And you don't know, you can't assume, right? So have a conversation with who? The decision maker. Who's the decision maker? I don't know. Find out who it is. Everybody's decision maker is different. One company, it's the office manager. The next one, it's the CFO. The next one, it's Rick, who's been with the company for 25 years, who doesn't have a title, but he's the know-it-all because he's the steady hand at the machine shop company. And Rick's the one that does all the decision making because the owner loves Rick, and Rick's number 2 because he's been with him for 25 years, even though he's got all the brass and all the staff and all the management that make every other decision. But Rick's in charge of the snow and the lawn. Fantastic. Go make friends with Rick. Go stop in and give him a $25 Chick-fil-A gift card. Hey, Rick, thanks for the snow. I know, hey, don't want to make it awkward. Here's a quick little gift card. Just want to say thanks for going with us. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. But talk to them. What are your needs? Every client is different. We wouldn't have got to church if I just would have said, hey, here's our 4 categories. Here's your seasonal contract. It's $12,500. If he said, hey, we only want snowplow service only, and we only want bulk salt on Wednesdays and Sundays. If it snows Saturday night into Sunday or Sunday morning, we'd like to be on call. If you guys could facilitate that. By the way, what's an on call? Maybe your bulk salt's $240 a ton, $260 a ton applied, and to be on call, it's $350. I wouldn't necessarily do that, but you could. You can do whatever you want. It's your company, right? But that client's needs are different than the McDonald's who wants white glove service and the UPS regional facility that's moving 1 million packages a week, to make Christmas deliveries. Actually, my friend got that contract for our local one. It came across his desk. He didn't want it. He gave it to, was sending it to me. I looked at it. We would talk numbers. I said, no freaking way. You're out of your freaking mind. because the service quality they wanted was like white glove. The pricing was a D-. I said, hey, I'll do A quality service, white glove, if you want to have A quality pricing or B+ pricing. But if you think you're getting this for that, you're out of your freaking mind. Literally, me and my buddy, we just laughed. Okay. Every client is different, right? I'd rather see the trucks not move than you to go out and be doing parking lots for $125. Please do not do that. Or trading Wendy's fast food. Okay, because the Wendy's hasn't been done yet. Dude, your truck in your rig today is $75,000. And you drop that blade and you go smash a curb. It costs you $800 because it's a half load of concrete, because it's a short load or whatever the hell they call it. And it's $3,000 to repair a damaged curb, or your plow line's break and now your truck's down for the rest of the night. And you wouldn't have cared if it was on your clients because, hey, it's part of the business. But when you did the Wendy's for free for, 3 little, Baconators and a 10-piece spicy nugget, which is really good, it's not worth it. It's not worth $30 of fast food to drop your blade when it should have been a $250 price, because that's what you're going to set a price precedence forever. Not only just for you, but for the whole industry. Let's all stop doing that stuff. I had a client literally that I did a bid for. I showed up to the guys, like, give me the whole runaround. We're looking at this property. It's a big L down one way and L up front for the parking and the visitors at a small business. And he's like, yeah, how much would you do for a price like this? I said, I don't know, $145 probably, just looking at this. And then we got 3 tiers that go up from there. It's 1.5 multiplier on our plowing price and our sidewalk shoveling price. So 245, next tier 1.5, which would be like, 365, 367, 50 or something like that. Then it's like, whatever, 455. Then it's like 625, and then it's like 82.50 an inch, whatever it is. Okay. There you go. Giving it away. It's awesome. Giving it away. I don't care. Take it. Hopefully it helps you guys out. And he goes, no. He goes, we're not paying 145. The last guy did it for like, I think he said 75 or 90. I was like, dude, there's no way. There's no way. I have a $70,000 truck. Oh, Fullerton, you have a nice truck. Bro, even if you have a $25,000 truck with an $6,000, used stainless steel that you got off Facebook, or used steel plow that you got, some Myers plow, $6,000, came with the truck. It's still $35,000. The first time anything breaks down, it's going to be $500 to $1,000 to fix it. You're not making any money plowing anything for $50, $75, $125. Stop doing that stuff. Well, I wish the whole industry would get itself together so we could all make more money. You have to do it too. We all have to be in it together, okay? Short and sweet episode. 50 minutes, dang it. 55 minutes when I had the ads in. Mr. Producer adds the ad in. Dang it, Paul always chastises me. He says, my episodes are not short. They're not short. But neither is the amount of value that we give on our show, okay? We do not do low value. We do high value. Just like Jeremiah Jennings always says. Got to give him the value, okay? That's what I got. Rather not plow than not make money is my last line here, okay? There's 100 more notes I'm sure that we can get into. I'm hoping this helps you guys out. That's how we come up with our pricing. Again, 2 quick things I'll say. You can always up your salt price if you guys think that that's low, or maybe you get more like 1-inch kind of dusting type snowstorms. You can always add, you can do whatever you want, of course, all this, but you can always add more salt runs, and you can always add more ice melt bags. If they have a 2-acre site with 200 feet, well, times your plow price by double the price, right? Because it's 2 acres. But then also make sure that you're doubling your ice melt bag supply. We have one site that is a 1-acre site, but has a lot of sidewalks, and we do 2 bags of ice melts per visit. Okay, no big deal. Just make sure you're factoring that price in. Don't get so zombie when you're putting your prices together that you forget to a la carte price those sites when you're putting together your 4 quadrants for your total price. Don't just 1, 1, 1, 1, 15, 15, 30, 30. Like, it could be 15, no walks, bulk salt, 30 bags or 60 bags, right? Like 1, 0 or 15, 0, 30, 60, right? Like, don't be so zombie so quick to get these proposals out, okay? Another thing too, the bulk salt. Here's some inside baseball. When you bid a 1-acre site, 1.25 acre site for 1 ton of salt, it's not a ton of salt applied. We all bill for 1 ton of salt applied for the most part. On average, it's about 750 to 1,000 pounds of bulk salt per acre. So if you're coming a little high in your salt pricing, you do have a little bit of wiggle room in that bulk salt to maybe chop that number to like 0.8 of what you just quoted it at. So instead of 7,200, maybe 6,500 or something like that. Because it doesn't take a full ton applied per acre. Now, a good thick coverage and a little extra here and there for some other snowstorms or just to kind of round up, which is what I encourage you to do, well, then I'd keep it at that 1 ton per applied event. But industry average is like 800 to 1,000 pounds of salt to cover a 1 acre parking lot. Okay, so you got a little bit of room there. We're kind of doubling up our number, but there's a lot of variables in salt. Round up. Your Boss VBX spreader is, whatever, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000. I don't know. I haven't bought one yet, but Dell has 2. I would tell you those are not free. Okay, especially when you start picking out your ice, your salt that's all frozen together, like some of you guys have to and have and do. And you guys know, if you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning with a pick or a shovel, that's why you charge $240 to $260 a ton applied and not $125. Okay, so make that money. It's cold. Things are breaking down. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. There's idiots out there going to get their Olive Garden breadsticks. Don't give it away for free. Okay. So I got for you guys on today's Monday show. We will be back here Wednesday. We got an interview. Friday we got an interview. A bunch of great stuff going on. That's what I'm going to button this whole thing up with, man. I will say this. Jeff Joyner, he's our keynote for LAL. His book just came in, and he's mailing out all those copies. I'm hoping to get mine any day now. I saw that he had 600 pre-orders, which is freaking incredible. Talk about a groundswell. Super excited about that. He's going to be one of the 8 speakers at Launchpreneur Academy Live. Can you guys not tell that I'm hyping it up, that I'm trying to, little selling, a little convincing to come on out to LAL? But I'm telling you guys, generally, I'm excited about it. And I cannot wait to see you guys there. We 100% cannot wait to see you guys there at Launchpreneur Academy Live 2023. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Hey, one last thing. For all of you guys that are super serious and you guys are like the core listeners to the podcast, before we button this thing up, I wanted to ask your help. I'm also going to put on Instagram stories and also leave in the show notes. You guys can answer it whichever way you guys can or want. We have a survey that I'd love to have you guys weigh in on. Just long story short, we have some really exciting things coming down the pike at Launchpreneur Academy Live 2023. We're hoping for a big launch, possibly. That's why we want to ask you guys for some help and get your feedback and help build this thing with us for a group, for a membership. I'm not going to go too far into it right now because that's why the survey exists. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to steer one way or the other. But we'd be honored to have you guys weigh in about this potential membership that we might be putting together this fall. It's something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. You guys know that we hired a great girl named Bethany. She's our social media, quote unquote, executive assistant, director of everything that we do behind the scenes. She's been really, really great for Liz and I. We couldn't be more thankful, more grateful. And I'm not just saying that. Bethany, if you're listening in, we love you. You know that. But with her help and her spearheading this whole operation and us kind of having a little bit of the bandwidth to be able to allocate time, money, resources, just focus, to be honest with you. With her help, we're going to more than likely move forward with something like this. And we want to know, what do you guys want in it? What do you want it for? How much? What kind of topics? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. We have like a 17 question survey. It's really, really simple. It's really, really quick. It's very, very simple to go through. Honestly, you could already be done by the time I've been talking about it. For real. It takes like less than 2 minutes to do. And I think the first week of October, we're going to pick 4 winners, incentivize you guys a little bit with a $25 gift card. I think it's a Visa gift card. Bethany's spearheading that as well. Just as a little incentive if you guys do want to check that out. I think last I saw, we only had like 60 or 70 people fill out the survey. So you got a good chance. I mean, that's, I don't know, 1 in 10, 1 in 20. It's not too bad. But if you guys would do me a big solid, we'll leave a link in the show notes and then also on stories on Instagram. I invite you guys to just check that out. Maybe you guys can do that on your lunch break or later that evening. If you guys don't mind, don't forget about that. We really appreciate that. And you guys can check that out at launchpreneuracademy.com/ well, whatever the survey is. We'll leave the link in the show notes. So that being said, guys, super appreciate you listening. And we look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to shovel. I don't even have a snowblower. Nobody to plow me. Oh, my God, and the neighbors suck. They don't help. Oh, my God, what am I going to do?
Do you want to keep the cash flowing this winter? Head over to LaunchpreneurAcademy.com and check out all of Brian Fullerton's new courses and powerful resources to get you cashing in on that white gold through plowing snow. The snow plowing training course is easy to understand, and you'll learn what it takes to do the job effectively and how to bid, price, and estimate snow plowing for both residential and commercial properties. LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com has 3 new resources to take the hassle and guesswork out of securing your snow removal jobs. Plus, there's eye-catching marketing materials that can help you secure new clients quickly. Ready to crush the snow game this year? Visit LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.